Tonight on Newswatch, the Nelsonville Music Festival begins today in Athens.
Plus, countries around the world are turning their eyes to Paris for the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
And the government is cracking down on internet protection for youth. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Allison Patton.
And I'm Harshita Singhania. Welcome to Newswatch. The Nelsonville Music Festival kicks off today. From Kara Johnson, Candy Barnes, and Killer Mike, this year's cross-community music event features a lineup of local, regional, and national artists. Paige Lasky is looking forward to a fun weekend.
School teacher, so this is kind of like last hurrah until school starts. So yeah, the expectations are good vibes, good music, good food, good friends.
For more information on the event, head to the nelsonvillefest.org.
The Athens Hocking Recycling Centers may survive for longer than expected despite the failure of a plan to save it. The center went into a financial crisis in November when it lost the Athens trash contract to Rumpke. The Athens Hocking Solid Waste District wanted to save AHRC by buying it with a parcel fee, but that was shot down last week. Now AHRC's Executive Director, Krista Cummings, says there's another way. She says the newly formed Council of Governments will lease the center and generate revenue by selling recycled and composted materials and charging hauling fees. This money could be at risk if Rumpke starts taking materials to its new facility in Columbus. Ohio University's Zanesville campus is hosting a training for educators to support youth mental health. The training is being offered by campus's CARE team, which helps support students in crisis. According to the CARE team's Terry Peasley, the training will prepare participants to talk about mental health with students and families, and connect them with resources if needed. Sessions for educators who signed up will take place on August 2nd and 7th. A Pike County school hasn't seen a student in 5 years because a 2019 study found it to be radioactive. Now that it's up for auction, people are wondering if it's safe. I got to see the inside of the school. The Zons Corner Middle School is a place frozen in time.
The only thing that doesn't exist is students and staff there.
Abandoned since 2019 when a study found radioactive neptunium in the building. The classrooms are exactly like they were 5 years ago. Most believe the neptunium came from the open-air demolition of the nearby Portsmouth gaseous diffusion plant. Since then, the district has paid $30,000 to $50,000 a year to maintain Zons Corner.
Our students deserve to have the best education that we can provide. And if we're putting resources in a school that we don't use anymore, that's just not sound financial investment in my view.
The district put the building up for auction earlier this month. The Pike Christian Academy planned to submit a bid for the building, but said on social media it wouldn't, after the community and academy parents protested. Pike County Health Commissioner Matt Brewster says the neptunium is at a level the federal government says is safe, but there is still a 1 in 10,000 chance of a person getting cancer.
They weren't willing to put the kids there at an increased risk.
Cleaning up the building is the only way to eliminate that risk, but according to Chick Lawson, that requires gutting it and more.
And then they would probably have to figure out how they're going to do an acid treatment on it.
Lawson is a former gaseous diffusion plant worker. He says even if the building is remediated, the demolition of the plant will make all that effort worthless.
As soon as they start taking down the X333, which has plutonium in it, it's going to be contaminated again. Now what are you going to do?
At least 3 other parties are still interested in purchasing the school. The auction is set for August 17th at 10 a.m. in the school's library. Brewster Real Estate is holding 2 more open houses for interested bidders. One is August 6th from 10 a.m. to noon, and the last one is August 14th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Taking our first look at weather today, it has been a crystal clear day out there. You might have seen a couple clouds, but other than that, it has been beautiful. That rain is really out of our radar. Athens currently 86, those clear skies. It has been a warm one out there, but that humidity has been low. For it being at 27, at that about 20 mark is whenever it starts getting from that dry to humid area. but we are at 27, so it has been feeling like a nice heat. It hasn't been sticky. It has just been a beautiful Friday out there. All throughout southeast Ohio, they're experiencing this drying, those clear skies. Lancaster 79, Newark 81, Wilmington 80. It has just been a pretty nice day out there. Those temperatures all throughout those 80s all of today. But into tonight, we're going to have that overnight low of 59 with those clear skies. It is going to be a little bit of a cooler night than we've had these last couple days. These next 3 days, we're going to have a sunny weekend until we reach next week, where those chances of showers are going to build up. I'll be talking about that in my full forecast. Let's take it over to Harshita.
The Ohio Supreme Court has ruled that if you order boneless wings, you should expect some bones in it. That is the court's opinion when it ruled against a man who sued a restaurant in 2017 after swallowing a boneless wing that had a bone in it. According to court documents, the man said the bone lodged in his esophagus, which became infected. He said the infection led to additional ongoing medical issues. In 2017, the man lost his case in trial court, which said that it is common sense to know that a meat dish would have bone fragments in it. The man appealed that decision to the Ohio Supreme Court in 2023, and it agreed with the lower court. Manufacturing, like many occupations, is constantly evolving, and Southeast Ohio is trying to get ahead of what is on the horizon. Newswatch reporter Haley Sweno has more.
Thanks, Arshita. Well, with many things moving towards automation, the future of manufacturing is changing. I spent some time at America's Cutting Edge Boot Camp in Marietta, Ohio this week, where people were preparing for that future. Caleb is building an air piston from start to finish. He is one of the students learning the entire machining process. It starts with a computer-aided design, or CAD file. That gets uploaded into Fusion 360, which generates toolpaths around the 3D model.
Basically what we're doing is we're telling the machine what we want to do with it when we get there.
Trevor Cochran with the Appalachian Ohio Manufacturers Coalition is leading their second camp.
What this is an initiative by the Department of Defense where they've put a lot of funding into it to be able to help promote manufacturing across the U.S.
And in Southeast Ohio, this initiative is driving AOMC's mission to promote manufacturing in the region by increasing exposure to manufacturing for the upcoming generation. Boot camp attendee Jamie Erb has been a STEM educator at Belpre High School for 12 years and often brings her students on field trips to the AOMC.
So they can see all the machines, the equipment, and the kids actually on the field trips get to get their hands on them, not just look at them, but they get to participate and get them to think that, hey, I might be actually interested in this.
Boot camp attendee Terry Ryder is also a STEM educator, excited to take what he's learned this week back to his students at Warren Local Middle School.
We're a quarter way through the 21st century, and we don't want to call these 21st century skills. It's just, that's where we're at now.
AOMC Director George Bilikonsky says having a sophisticated job force that understands advanced manufacturing will bring more companies into the region.
We want our population, our high school students, ready for the workforce that's required 5 years, 10 years from now.
Well, AOMC is also hoping to bring a robotic unit into schools so students can get free certification to operate it. They say that could lead to a job right out of high school. For more information, head to the AOMC website on your screen. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Haley Sweno, live in studio.
Coming up, Vice President Kamala Harris continues to garner support for her campaign, and the U.S. has arrested 2 major drug kingpins.
It's been a nice summer day. When are we going to start seeing that rain again? Next on Newswatch.
There is concern about the size and scope of extremism.
Correspondent Evan Williams investigates the rise of Germany's far right.
Für die AfD arbeiten keine Neonazis.
And the fight against it.
We consider right-wing extremism the severest and most threatening danger that we have right now.
If we want to live in democracy in 10, 15 years, we have to act now. There's no time to wait.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
It first appeared in the New Mexico desert.
For the first time in human history, we now were capable of our own destruction. E equals mc squared now has a terrifying practicality. Uranium can make a bomb. We took a rock and we forced it to release its power.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Stop skimming.
Stop scrolling.
Just listen.
100 years ago today, they walked away from the
All you need
in one place.
every afternoon.
Los Angeles. I fell in love with pinball 6 or 7 years ago.
All things considered from NPR.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Opening ceremonies for the Paris 2024 Olympics are underway. And as athletes from around the world try to go for the gold, there's another thing they'll have to compete against: high temperatures. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how Olympians handle extreme heat.
Soaring temperatures, scorching sun. The 2024 Olympics is expected to be one of the hottest ever, and Team USA will feel the heat as they go for the gold.
With extreme heat, obviously the body, it's trying to cool itself down, so you end up sweating a lot. You lose a tremendous amount of fluid.
Sarah Wick works with athletes at Ohio State University's Jamison Crane Sports Medicine Institute. Olympian or not, she says any sport that exposes you to heat for long periods can cause the loss of several pounds in water weight, which can make a person vulnerable to heat-related illness. That's why staying hydrated is critical.
They sip on water all day. If it's something that they're training twice a day, they may use a sports drink.
Wick says sports drinks can help replenish electrolytes, but diet can also help. Foods like watermelon are comprised mostly of water and can aid hydration. Wick also recommends athletes eat saltier foods when excessively sweating.
Like your pretzels, pickles, those kind of things that have more sodium in them. And then we'll ask them to actually use a salt shaker on their food so they can help to keep themselves hydrated.
To check hydration levels, Wick says to take a look at your urine. The color is a good indicator.
If your urine color is clear, transparent, it might be a light lemonade color, but that lets us know that you're hydrated.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Most of the Democratic Party has solidly lined up behind Vice President Kamala Harris as their nominee, including a major endorsement from Barack and Michelle Obama. But Republicans see the flood of endorsements and campaign cash since President Joe Biden ended his re-election bid and backed Harris as a honeymoon. The campaigns are already in disagreement about a debate, previously agreed to by the Biden and Trump campaigns on September 10th. Harris said she's in, but the Trump campaign says they won't agree to debate until Harris is confirmed as the Democratic nominee. Polls this week show no clear leader in the race between Harris and former President Donald Trump.
For those temperatures out there currently, Athens currently 86. Clear skies. That humidity is very low for this time of the day. It is going to be a little bit of a drier one. This high pressure has really swooped in and made it feel really, really nice out there. Hopefully you got to enjoy it all throughout Southeast Ohio. Those sunny skies mean that high pressure, and they're all in those drier conditions. For Lancaster, 79, Wilmington 80. As we go a little bit more south, Huntington, they're still in those upper 80s at 89. Tonight, those temperatures will be dipping down into 59. It will be a little bit of a cooler night. Whenever there's those clearer skies at nighttime, those temperatures can dip down a little bit farther, but we're going to have some clear skies, so you'll be able to see that moon tonight. All throughout the United States, those from the past 24 hours, the system has been really impacting us, giving us those clear skies, that high pressure. A little bit of this cold front is making those temperatures from exceeding those 90 degrees, but it's still a pretty warm one out there, and it'll continue to warm up with a little bit of this warm front making its way in by tomorrow. You're looking at 12 hours ahead, still over this high pressure system. There are parts of West Virginia that are going to be getting some rain, but here in Ohio, it is going to be clear, and we're going to have a little bit of warmer temperatures for your Saturday. 24 hours ahead, still under this high pressure, and it's going to be a beautiful Saturday, but you're going to be wanting to stay hydrated. It will have that temperature high of 90. It is going to be a warm one out there. Mostly sunny skies. The temperature low at 62. That is that low pressure that is starting to make its way in. That could give us some rain as early as Sunday and into Monday. Once we get into our Saturday, we're going to be seeing that high pressure system, this is Sunday, off to our east, and the chance for some rain starting to make its way up from the south, giving us a little bit of that higher humidity, and then giving us that chance of rain kind of looming before we get hit with some rain early next week. You'll see mostly sunny skies for these next couple of days, but once we get into the work week, we're going to see rain all throughout that 7-day forecast. Monday and Tuesday is looking like our highest chance of those showers and the most amount of rain. Right now, it is looking like over an inch of rain for our Monday and Tuesday, and then those chances of thunderstorms and looming all throughout the rest of next week. So you're definitely going to be wanting to enjoy those sunny skies while they're around. Next week, you're going to need that umbrella, and you're going to see those temperatures dip back down. Monday at 84 degrees. That cold front, those rain and some cold front is going to be making its way through, giving us some cooler temperatures, and then from Monday, those temperatures will be ramping back up, back into those 90s. These next couple days are going to be warm before we hit our early weekdays, and then once we get to this time next week, we'll be in those 90s once again, and that temperature low in those 70s for our Friday next week. So definitely enjoy these sunny skies while they're around. Let's take it back over to Harshita.
The decades-long search for an alleged Mexican drug kingpin is finally over. Ismael El Mayo Zambada was arrested in El Paso, Texas, after he was apparently lured across the border by federal agents. The 76-year-old is the alleged co-founder of the powerful Sinaloa cartel. He is suspected of flooding the U.S. with deadly fentanyl. He and Joaquin Guzman Lopez, another alleged drug kingpin, boarded a plane they believed was en route to inspect a property in Mexico. Lopez is the son of the cartel's infamous co-founder, former boss Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. FBI agents arrested the two after they landed in El Paso. A closely watched inflation guide studies how internet usage can affect teenagers' brains. This comes after the Senate is taking steps forward on 2 bipartisan bills to protect adolescents online. Brian Abel reports on the study's findings and the path forward.
Teens diagnosed with internet addiction often struggle with muddled attention spans. A new study in the journal PLOS Mental Health could explain why. Neuroimaging uncovered disrupted signals between brain regions that are important for controlling attention and working memory. The findings are similar to the ABCD study by Professor of Psychology Dr. Chandra Sripada and others, who says understanding the internet's impact on our brains is an important first step towards battling potential addiction.
If you know what the markers of vulnerability are, you can prevent an individual by intervening in the interim. You can prevent an individual from developing the full-blown addiction syndrome.
In Washington, the Senate waging its own battle, taking steps this week towards passing 2 bipartisan bills aimed at protecting kids online.
Predators can exploit or target kids. And for kids who struggle with mental health, social media can magnify their anguish.
One bill focuses on improving privacy. The second requires social media companies to provide better protections for minors. That includes giving guardians more control and limiting certain features like autoplay.
The technology companies have brainiacs that they've hired. That's all on one side. And on the other side, you've got a teenager. And the competition is not fair.
In Washington, I'm Brian Abel reporting.
The White House is also stepping up its efforts this week. A task force recommended parents keep open communication with children about social media, set expectations for what kids can watch, how long they can use devices, and make sure they have correct privacy settings. Boar's Head is recalling more than 200,000 pounds of ready-to-eat deli meats due to potential listeria contamination. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the recall includes all of Boar's Head's liverwurst products and a variety of hams, bologna, salami, and bacon. Consumers are warned to look for the establishment number EST 12612. 34 people in 13 states have gotten sick from the sliced meat. The potential outbreak has been linked to 33 hospitalizations and 2 deaths. Listeria poisoning symptoms can be dangerous or life-threatening, especially for older adults, people with weak immune systems, and pregnant women. Next in sports, take a look at the upcoming football season for the Sheridan Generals. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Let's start at the beginning, shall we? I can't wait.
Back in the game, bringing the thunder, I'm making waves.
People will be watching your every move. I can handle it. Let's go.
So, what's your secret?
Things are starting to move in the right direction.
Tell us everything.
Are you ready for more? Just getting started, locked on the target. Are you ready for more?
No one is going to tell me who I can or can't be. Troubles, honey? Like you wouldn't believe. Hop in. Every day, I see the evidence of all that love can do.
Are you ready for
Whatever happens, we'll be together.
There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. This was perfect.
We're fighting to be the #1 player in the world.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen.
These were pop stars with a tennis racket.
I could never be alone. I could never be private.
I felt like my time had come. I'm going to do whatever it takes.
You're looking at one of the greatest sporting events of the 20th century.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Antiques Roadshow Recut returns with half-hour episodes.
What? You heard me right. Oh my gosh. You heard me right. Do I have to tell my sisters and brother?
That's up to you. You literally discovered these like the night before coming to Antiques
right
Roadshow?
before we came.
It's worth that much sitting on my wall, I'll tell you that.
I'm having trouble breathing a little bit.
Watch Antiques Roadshow Recut, your favorite finds in half-hour episodes.
In 2023, the Sheridan Generals finished with a remarkable record-going 12-2 and appearing in the regional final for the first time since 1987. How did the Generals get further this year? Their mantra, right mental attitude. Newswatch reporter Stephen Caroli has the story.
Sheridan joined Nelsonville York along with Miller and Logan Elm for 7-on-7 scrimmages at Nelsonville York High School. Sheridan head coach Paul Culver III says these 7-on-7 matches are important for his quarterbacks.
So it really helps quarterbacks, obviously, seeing the timing and the pacing and the spacing, and they can see coverages. We're back there talking like, hey, if they play it like this, we're going to run the ball. He's going to play it 7, we're just going to run the ball. But you tell them about which way they shade and which way they eye, so it's great for quarterbacks.
Now, speaking of the quarterback's vision, let's take a moment and strap in the helmet of Generals junior quarterback Logan Hupp.
Ohio. Now go!
Hupp is a key piece for the Generals this upcoming season, but the QB1 spot isn't promised just yet. Sophomore Tice Whiteman is competing with Hupp for the starting spot this season. For Coach Culver, the question of who will start Week 1 will be decided with a preseason position battle, and the decision will be very difficult.
They both do a great job. They both bring different things, and it's going to be a battle down to the scrimmages even.
The ending of Sheridan's season in 2023 came in the regional final versus Steubenville, where the Generals lost 14-7. Senior receiver and defensive back Evan Anderson uses this loss as fuel going into 2024.
Oh, it was heartbreaking. You know, you're that close to going to the Final Four, and then that happens. It's heartbreaking. I mean, we started lifting in February, walk in the very first morning, there's a picture of the score right there hanging in our weight room. So, I mean, that's all it took.
After losing 19 seniors, Anderson and other seniors have huge leadership roles to fill this season, but with the right mental attitude, success is only a snap away. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Stephen Crowley in Nelsonville.
The Generals kick off Week 1 on August 23rd at Licking Valley. In the meantime, stay tuned for more Gridiron Glory content in the coming weeks with Season 25 debuting on August 23rd. For preseason stories, rankings, and more, check out Gridiron Glory on X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And for written content, head to woub.org/gridiron. Still ahead, historians have made a new discovery at the bottom of Lake Michigan. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a gift of stock is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
On The Great American Recipe.
Pass your recipe to the person next to you. Oh my goodness.
I've never made this. Fufu is something that Ajo prides herself on, and I want to do her justice.
That's so nice just to see them working together and teaching a technique.
I got John's chicken tacos. Hey, John.
A little bit thinner if possible.
I have confidence in Jim, but I have plenty of advice.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
You know soup's going to be good when it starts with browned pancetta.
Get ready as Bridget, Julia, and the rest of the gang explore new recipes and cooking techniques.
And now the crimping begins.
Plus new gadgets, equipment, and ingredients.
Is there anything sadder than a burger on a plain bun?
It's a great new season of America's Test Kitchen.
I'm going through a lot of cake.
Finally tonight, maritime historians in Wisconsin have found an 1893 shipwreck in Lake Michigan. The Margaret A. Muir was discovered under 50 feet of water on May 12th. According to the Wisconsin Underwater Archaeology Association, the ship sank only a few miles off the entrance to Algoma Harbor. Maritime historians said this is a significant archaeological discovery. The Muir is a 130-foot, three-masted ship that was built in 1872. It was intended primarily for the Great Lakes grain trade, but it had many diverse cargoes over 21 years before sinking. Maritime historians say the ship was lost to a fierce gale back in 1893. That is so interesting. I wonder how they found it.
Yeah, I think it's always cool to find like treasures or just like things under the water.
And they're usually like pretty well preserved. I mean, to still have it there is pretty awesome. Well, let's take it back over to weather. We're seeing currently out there that it's 86 degrees, clear skies. Those temperatures are going to cool down to that overnight low of 58. Clear skies continuing. It is going to be making it a little bit of a cooler night out there for your Friday night. For our 7-day outlook, this weekend is going to be mostly sunny. We're going to have those temperatures ramping up into those mid-90s. So if you do have any outdoor plans, make sure that you are hydrating, but it is going to be mostly sunny out there. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy those sunny skies. And then next week, we're going to experience just a little bit of rain.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Haley Sueno and Isabella Sko, I'm Harshita Singhania.
And I'm Allison Patton. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. Newswatch will return September 9th. Until then, remember you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Follow us on social media.
Let's make the most of this summer.
There's about to be a whole lot of love in this kitchen.
Smells good in here.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.